Welcome to another episode of Rhinestones and Rants, where we mix the sparkle with the real talk. I'm Alyssa Better, your host, and today, trust me when I say you are in for something legendary, because today we aren't just turning up the volume, we are blowing the roof off. Join me as we have the one, the only, the man, the myth, the movement, hip-hop royalty himself, Brooklyn J. From choreographing for global superstars to lighting convention stages across the country, Brooklyn isn't just a dancer, he is a force. He has inspired thousands of dancers, including my own daughter, who still talks about the fire he has brought to her classes years ago. So grab your glitter, buckle up, smash that like button, subscribe, and share the love, because Brooklyn J is in the building and we are going to have a moment. So let's go. Welcome to Rhinestones and Rants, where the glitz of the dance world meets the real talk of industry, and a dance mom who lived it every day. This podcast isn't just about perfect pirouettes and dazzling costumes. It's about the raw, unfiltered journey of raising dancers, navigating the competitive scene, and balancing the chaos of life beyond the studio. So grab your coffee or wine, adjust that messy bun, and join me and special guests for a little bit of rhinestone-covered realness. Click that like button below, subscribe, and let's get into it. So Brooklyn J in the house. I cannot, wow, that's unbelievable to me. Clearly an icon in the hip hop world.
Okay.
How long have you been doing this now?
So long. Since I was a baby. I always say since I was a baby.
See, he won't actually tell us how
never,
old he is. So he won't say, I've been doing this for 40 years or 30 years or 20 years. But okay, we won't press. But what I'm gonna ask you is, I think, well, we know each other probably 12, 13 years. I think Joelle was 7 when we met.
Yes.
She was part of the Brooklyn squad.
Firecracker.
Squad.
Oh
I mean, it was
God.
you have made dancers in your career, because I watch your videos like no other. You have made dancers into little fierce Beyoncés like I've never seen in my life. And I remember meeting you walking into Fierce, where we danced at the time, and you were wearing these little tiny booty shorts. Booty shorts with these long, different color, gorgeous braids.
The
rainbow braids with the beads. And I'm like, who is this person? I need, whoever he is, Joelle needs to dance with him. And I just remember saying, because, there she is in her leotard and doing ballet,
right?
And you walk in this force to be reckoned with, stop at the presses, everybody takes a gasp, who is this person walking through the dance studio?
Which I always get, yeah.
Which was so making an entrance like usual, because that's who you are. And I'm like, she needs to dance with you. So the rest was history. She danced with you for gazillions of years. Nobody I've come close to has even, you have your own style, your own presence. You are an icon in hip hop. And I want you to tell your story. I want to know, like I said, how long have you been dancing? When did you first start the Brooklyn journey? I guess would be the first place for us to start.
I think, so I've always been doing this since I was a little kid. I would always stand in front of the TV, and if a song came on, I was always just shaking and grooving. And then one day my uncle Junior, shout out to Uncle Junior, he told my mom that that kid's gonna be a star. I don't know what kind of star, but he's gonna be a star. For some reason, I've always just gravitated towards dance, and it was just in my soul to just want to move and want to be entertainer since I was little.
Would you agree with that statement, though, that dance is either in you or it's not? Doesn't mean you can't teach somebody to dance, but when you really have it in your veins, do you believe that that's something that can't be taught? That's you have it or you don't.
Well, I think everybody's a dancer. I think everybody's a dancer, but you can't teach entertainment. You can't teach an entertainer. An entertainer is somebody that just has it, across the board.
The it factor.
The it factor. You can teach dance, because I've taught dancers, but you could, what's that saying where you can just lead a horse to the well, and if they
Lead a
don't
horse
want
to water, but if you can't make them drink.
correct. So if you can teach them and they don't do anything with it. A lot of dancers have never like really taken a step to actually do something with it.
Right, because sometimes, I mean, you see a lot of dancers, and I say this a lot because some of the studios that I've been to, they teach incredible technique. But if
Yes.
you don't teach the performance, which I think Fierce was amazing at doing, Fierce did a great job at teaching that performance quality.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like that in your face. Like,
Yes.
and I think that if you don't have it, then you could be this great dancer on stage, but you're not. It's kind of boring to
Yeah.
watch,
You
right?
see
It's
a
not.
lot of great dancers, but then you always can pick, for example, Joelle. She's an entertainer. Like
Since she was little.
since
Like,
she was little, then that's why I gravitated towards her, because I was like, oh yes, I need her on my team. Like if I had minis, I want my minis to be fire.
and she wanted to be on your squad. I mean, down to the fact that I think we went someplace and she's like, I need a crop top. I needed to say Brooklyn J on the back. I needed to say squad. Like she wore that
Like full out.
so proud and so full out. And when we use the word full out, I can't think, besides a Beyonce, I can't think of anybody else but you that is purely full out in every single thing that you do.
Yeah.
And when did that start? Like, where did the Brooklyn J style originally come from? Like, I know you were dancing in front of your TV, but how, like, did you train? Did you, like, tell me a little bit more? So your uncle says, or you're going to be a star.
So, I joined. Actually, I joined a dance group in Stockton, California, which is where I'm from, and it was called Sick With It. And all those dancers in that group, they were already professional dancers, and so I joined the group. We were killing the cities. We were touring in San Francisco, Stockton, Sacramento, until one day I got kicked out of the group.
For what? What'd you do? Tell us. Spill the tea.
I feel like I got kicked out because they didn't like how good I was. I don't know what the tea was, but they just didn't like me after a certain point. And I remember having this huge rehearsal, and we're all sitting on the floor and the choreographers are standing up, whatever, and they point right to me and was like, "You need to go. You need to go." They pointed to a couple of other people too, and they were like, "You guys just need to go." Like in front of everybody.
And did that dim your light at all, or did that make you
Hell
stronger?
to the no. I walked out of that room and I was like, okay, it's go time. Because if you want to kick me out, let's go. Like, I think that fed my fire to where I am literally today. It fed
Because
my
it goes
fire.
back to what I say all the time. I say it in every episode, but never let anybody dull your sparkle, because what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Correct.
And I feel like, nobody puts baby in the corner, and you're definitely not a person that I can ever see in anybody's corner. It's like
Right.
you're going to be, like I said, full out when
Yeah.
you go and you do something. So you get kicked out.
Yes.
You say that fills your fire, and then what happens
I started
next?
my own dance group. It's such an ugly name. It was called RTP, and the definition for that was Ready to Party. So corny.
I actually kind of like it. It rings, but of course I would.
RTP, yeah.
RTP,
So it
okay.
was just a whole bunch of non-famous dancers in our city that I was starting to train, and we hit the competition, not the competition dance world where what it is today. It was like street competition, like
Like
there-
what you see in the movies, like what you
correct.
challenge each other and you
Yes,
do like
uh-huh.
street dance.
Yeah, and there was a show called Apollo Nights,
Okay.
where talent can go and perform, and the dance groups would take over Apollo Night, and we would go there and like battle it out for.
Love that.
Yeah.
I wish you have video on that. I would love to see
I
that.
actually do. Well, my auntie Melissa, who just passed away, she has all those videos.
Oh my God.
So
if you can
me
get
and
me
my mom was
video, we'll
just
share
talking
it with
about that.
everybody.
Yes.
If you can get me like a clip, because I would love for people to see that,
I
because
think I can
that's
find
like
a clip.
that's like when dance really evolved, right? Like dance, like it started in the street.
Yes.
So from what I'm hearing from you, you didn't have any specific, like, okay, so Joelle started at 2, she was in studio, she had all this training. You didn't have training. This was just
No.
in your veins and you
This is
took
in my
it.
veins, yeah.
So how'd you become Brooklyn J without any kind of training? How did you become this?
So I didn't
Fierce.
become the Brooklyn J until I moved to Los Angeles. So after that whole, touring and doing all the competitions, I finally decided to just move to LA. I had only $1,800 to move to LA. So I just took everything I had, packed my bags, and I moved with another girl to Los Angeles. And we started taking classes at Millennium. That's where I got introduced to Millennium. Um, I remember going into the Edge and seeing all the choreographers, Leslie Scott, just the icons of it all.
How old were you when you, or approximately how old were you?
You're
Approximately,
still
not
trying to
trying,
get
not
it.
trying to get it, but approximately how old were you when you said, "Okay, I'm moving to LA with this $1,800"? Approximately.
I think I was 18.
So that is like that's a big deal. Like, okay, I just turned legal. I'm going. I'm
Yeah.
taking off. I'm going to LA. I have $1,800 in my pocket. Where did you sleep? Like, that's not a lot of money.
Yeah. So we got an apartment on off of Oxnard and Lancashire, which was really nice. Me and the girl we were together at the time.
Okay.
And then things just didn't work out. And so we split, and that's when I became homeless.
You were without a house to
Without
live
a
in.
house, without money, but I was still training at Millennium. And that's why I always feel so connected to Millennium, is because I would always train there or go to the Edge and train. Um,
That had to be so difficult. How long were you homeless for? That's wow.
I was homeless for 8 months in Tahunga Park in North Hollywood.
Crazy. And
Yeah.
nobody was able to help you.
I don't think I reached out for help because one, it was embarrassing, and two, if I would have went home or if I would have called my mom and said, "Hey, I'm homeless," and what's the first thing moms say?
Come home.
Come home or pack your and come back.
Right. You have a bed here.
Yeah,
Get
you have
your butt home.
correct. Yeah, yeah. There's no sense of you sleeping on the street, but I didn't see that for myself. I just couldn't call my mom and say, "Hey, I'm giving up." So I stuck my ground in North Hollywood Park in front of Millennium.
Wow. So what was that like being homeless? So you're homeless and then you go to Millennium and you're taking classes with whatever money that you have. Like, how did you eat? Like you found money for classes. Like,
So I didn't have money for classes, but I was training that time when I moved here. So I
okay.
made connections. So for example, Kenneth, which I love. Kenneth is the king of Full Out. I'm the prince.
No,
Kenneth,
you're pretty much the king, but Kenneth is also king
Kenneth,
king as well.
is Full Out. Like me and Trisha would be full out in Kenneth's class. Like he was like so much where we would want to throw up. That's
Oh
how
my
that's how
God.
full out Kenneth was. So I will always say Kenneth is the king of full out. So but I was making these connections. I was taking, Shane Sparks' class, Kenneth, I was taking Leslie Scott's, and I was just getting in front of all these teachers. And so they were saying, come take class, come take class. Well, I don't got any money. Well, just come take anyways. I'll put you on my guest list.
So awesome.
Thank God for that.
Thank God. I mean,
Yeah.
and then how did you have money to eat? I mean, you're going full out. You got to eat.
I think I was just kind of like nitpicking from like dancers like plates,
Oh
or
my
when they would
God.
get something to eat, or they would offer me something to eat.
So much passion that you have. Like, it gives me chills, like being a mom, right? Like, to know somebody like you that's homeless that just all you want to do is dance.
Yeah,
And nothing was going to stop you from dancing, even
yeah,
being homeless.
yeah,
I remember we were talking and you said to me at night, it was kind of scary, like to
Y-
sleep in the park.
yes.
So,
Yeah. So during the night, I would sit in front of. Oh, I'm gonna cry. Sorry.
I want to text you. It's fine. Don't make me cry. You'll make me cry.
I would sit in front of Millennium, right in front of their glass door, and I would just sit there and listen to music and just, oh my God.
It's
And I
fine.
would just try to get through the night. And then when the sun would rise, I would go sleep in the park because it was safer to sleep in the daytime instead of the night. So I would walk around, and on the cold days, I would actually, where I live now, I live in a townhouse, but in that building, the lock was always bad. So I would go into the laundry room and I would keep quarters with me. I had a hoodie and some stuff, whatever, and I would put the change in the dryer, tumble my hoodie for a couple of seconds and then put it on. Or I would sneak into the garage, and if a car pulled in, I would sit right next to the tire because the engine was so warm. So those are like,
But the story is so humbling. It's like, you hear about Hollywood stories about people that come to Hollywood and
yeah,
everybody has like I call it the war wounds or the scars, but it's those scars that make you because one thing I always said about you, I've met lots of choreographers and I won't take anything away from it's hard to be a choreographer and everybody has their own story, but you've always shown up. You've always somehow in this crazy Hollywood world have managed to stay humble. You never forgot the people on your way up. And I've always admired you for that and I think it's because of your story.
yeah.
Because people, okay,
I'm okay.
okay, good. Sorry.
I'm trying to hold it in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
sorry.
because you know, specifically with kids, right? As a mom, like having my daughter around in this industry, some choreographers unfortunately get very big heads in this industry and they think that they are bigger than life and all of a sudden they forget where they came from and they
hmm
forget like what it was like to be that little kid that's,
hmm
so like looking up to that choreographer like you like me, pick me,
Fighting
like
to be
all of those
seen.
things, like fighting to be seen. That's the best
hmm
way to put it. And you always saw. It didn't matter if the person wasn't a great dancer. It didn't matter if the person didn't fit the image. It didn't matter. You always saw everybody.
hmm
And I would want everybody that was listening to know that about you because it's always been something I've always appreciated and respected.
Thank
And
you.
even with this, to let everybody know, I have this crazy idea. One day I'm going to do a podcast. I wake up in the morning. Who knew what goes into putting a podcast together? But I pick up the phone. Hadn't spoken to you in, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years. Brooklyn, I'm doing a podcast. Okay, what do you need? It was
Yeah.
just like, that's just who you are. And
hmm
and that, I've met your mama. She's the best in the whole, I
I
love
love you,
her.
Mom.
I obsessed with your mom and your sister. And that's from upbringing, right?
yeah.
That's from roots.
hmm
That is from coming from where you came from. And I
Yeah.
just think it's so admirable. And I think it's an important story to share. So, thank you for telling that piece of it because I think people need to know that about you. You might wear lots of different faces and lots of different outfits but who you are in the heart,
Yeah. Will always be
that's
the same.
always will be the same. And
Yeah.
it's like that heart, I think, is what's so magnetized, like people magnetize to you because of that. If you didn't become a dancer, like if dance was there anything else you could have seen yourself as?
So I always joke about this. I feel like in my past life, I was a female entertainer.
I see it.
And yeah, right.
Well,
Clearly.
hello. Clearly we see we see this.
Yeah, so I feel like in my past life I was a female entertainer and I was huge. And this is just all in my head, I probably think. But I was a huge female singer entertainer. And in this lifetime, I feel like I'm fighting to get that back. That's just how I've always seen it that way. Because how else can can I teach girls how to be so feminine and dance so girly and how am I doing makeup like, you know what I mean? I just
Oh, you do makeup. I mean, I was thinking about my makeup when I was coming here this
really?
morning, and I'm like, oh God, he's gonna come with a full face, and I'm like, I am mascara. Like, I don't know how to do freaking. Nobody does makeup as well as you. So yeah, I totally.
So I just always think that I was a female entertainer in my past life, and I'm fighting to get back to where I was in my past life.
Well,
Which
I
is so
think
weird.
you're not fighting for it. I mean, you've arrived. I've seen you make things I mean, anybody that's gone to your Brooklyn J Instagram, um, and they've seen your videos, you have metamorphosized so much into
Yeah.
so many different characters. And so when you are putting choreography together, besides wanting to be this female superstar, which I kind of feel like you've arrived already, but where do you get your influence to put pieces together and constantly evolve. I think I said it on a different episode, but when I think about, and I'm just going to use Madonna, for example, she's been around forever. And the thing
Yes.
about her, she's always reinventing. She's always, whether she aligned herself one year, I think with Britney or whoever, like the Britney kiss, like she's always evolving and she's
Hmm.
always looking for like the next thing. I
Hmm.
think of you like that. You're always evolving and looking
Oh,
for the next thing.
that's
Like,
so sweet.
but it's true.
Yeah.
You're never stale. It's always new and it's inventive and it's innovative and it's authentic as well. So, what would you say that, where do you get that from? Like to constantly
I,
be
I
unique?
I believe it's from where I came from, which was being homeless. Because I remember telling myself that I would never ever go back to that ever again. So I feel like it, and I always say this to everybody. When you live in Hollywood and do what we do, you have to fight to stay relevant. I mean, because there's always somebody better that
Always.
can come. During my era of teaching at Millennium, it was like me and Wildebeest and
Wildebeest. Oh
I
my
yeah,
goodness. Yeah.
and Phil Wright, and then all these other dope choreographers like Jojo Gomez, who was
Best.
like my student, and all those
Of course she was.
yeah,
JoJo Gum. Yeah.
oh,
Love.
she's
Best
freaking
classes
fierce. I
ever.
know, and
Crazy.
now she's just killing it. So there's always somebody better around the corner. So for me, I feel like just because I'm the Brooklyn J that I can just kind of just chill and do whatever. No, I have to stay relevant. I have to stay fire. I have to keep with the looks and create work that people will fall in love. Because if I stop, then like anything, it goes away.
So, what's the difference between when you do choreography for stage or a studio or some of the megastars that you've worked with? Like, where does the line like when you're creating these pieces of choreography? How what would you say the differences are, and how do you put those together?
When I choreograph anything, first of all, I have to really be interested in the music, and that I feel like that's what I'm doing now. I'm mixing a mix for a show that I have to put on in San Diego, and if I don't like the music or I'm not inspired by the music, it's not gonna get me moving. So I feel like the music that I choose or the themes that I choose, it has to make me feel alive. So it's so difficult. Like I've been mixing this mix for 4 days now straight, locked in my room. And if I don't feel like the music aligned or it makes me jump or makes me want to dance, I can't use it. So I'm literally chopping and deleting and hitting delete and hitting delete. It's so tough. But when I choreograph for an artist, I have to love the artist. Like for Iggy Azalea, when I choreographed for Iggy Azalea, I loved her music already. So it was easy.
How'd you get that job, by the way, with Iggy?
Oh, so I was in a relationship with this guy, and we were together for so long. Love you.
So long.
Uh-huh. Love you.
Yeah.
Still love you.
Quote quotes.
And we were just going through it, like through the ringer. And one day we had just literally flown from Atlanta, and we had gotten into a huge argument at the airport, LAX. I mean, like, it was bad. So, anyways, I drop him off. I'm going to the store. He calls me for some. I forgot what he called me for, but he was literally cussing me out and saying that I was nothing. I was a nobody. He created me. He made me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
Um,
know who he is. So,
like,
oh, yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, it was just bad. And on that phone call, I hung up and I had literally got a DM from Iggy Azalea, which I've been choreographing to all her stuff in my classes, like some of the
And
classes
tagging it in
and
social
tagging it and
media.
all that stuff. But I never thought that I think she liked something a long time ago, but it wasn't like I had no clue she was gonna DM me. So she DM'd me and she said, "Love your work. I need to talk to you ASAP." Yeah. So
So social media works. Like if anybody has
it
any,
does.
it works.
It does. And that's why it's very important to post your work. Like if you think you don't like it, post it anyways, because you just never know what's going to come out of it.
Which is true because music speaks to people so differently, right? It doesn't matter what your music may say to me, may
Right.
say something completely different
Different
to
to
somebody
somebody else.
else.
Correct.
And that's the beauty of the artistry, I think, of dance, right?
Correct.
Because I still listen to songs from when I was 9 years old when my parents were going through a divorce, and it hits me
And it hits you
still
a
the same
certain,
way
yeah.
when I was 9 years
Yeah.
old, right? So yeah, the way music speaks to you, dance, same
Yeah.
thing. So
So yeah, she DM'd me, so we talked, and she was literally like, "I love your work. I'm coming out with a new project, Sally Walker, the little Sally Walker,
Walker
walking down."
down
Yeah.
the street.
So she's like, "I'm gonna send you some reference." Like she sent me a GIF, and it was just, I believe, 2 or 3 black ladies, and they were holding a purse, and they were doing this walk with the purse, like it was just a simple walk. And she said, "I need you to create something from that."
And the rest was history.
Yeah, so I'm literally like, so I was in tears. So when her assistant called me, and I was in tears, and she was like, "Hi, Iggy Azalea wants to fly you out tomorrow. Like she's shooting this video in Atlanta. Can you fly out?" And so I'm like on the phone, hung up with such and such, and I'm like crying so hard and like just in tears. And then her assistant called, and I'm like, "Hello." Hi, can you fly out to Atlanta? Why, sure, yes, I can. So I flew out to Atlanta, went to Iggy's house, taught her the choreography, and the rest is history. Like that video went so viral. That
It was
choreography
it was
went
ridiculous.
so viral, so crazy.
But there was a part when from the time you were homeless to the time we got to this video
Yes,
where you also by chance meeting met somebody in a bus, or didn't you meet somebody randomly and that also changed your life as well?
I did. Oh yes,
Right?
yes. So one day I was still homeless. One day I was catching the bus to the Edge off of Santa Monica and Cole. And I had literally got off the bus, and this guy was standing right next to the bus stop, and he's just like, "Do you do TV?" And you know, in LA,
Right,
you have,
because obviously you would look at you and he probably had a
but I
different
didn't
face
look like
then.
anything back then. I mean,
You always look like something. You never left the house and you didn't look. I mean, I
just
met you in
felt
booty
like I did.
shorts. I mean, come
So
on.
ugly.
Yes.
Do you have that picture?
I'm going to
I
find the
hope you
picture of
don't.
booty. I'm going to find it because I know I have some booty short picture
So
of you. But
bad.
go on.
So yeah, and you know, in LA, you have to just fake it till you make it. So I said, why, yes, I do TV. And he's like, "Here's my card. I do UPN. I do a lot of stuff. I do Girlfriends. I do one-on-one with Kyla Pratt. Come do some extra work." So I was literally doing extra work every day, saving up all those checks. And I was on the set of Girlfriends a lot. I was on the set of UPN, and I did a couple of. There's another show that I did. I can't remember. So I was just literally saving up all those checks. Wasn't spending anything. I didn't need anything. I didn't have a house, so where would I put all this stuff if I bought? You know what I mean? And so one day went to go look, saved up a lot. I think I saved about 5,500, and back then that was good enough to get an apartment.
Great amount of money back
Yeah,
then.
yeah. So I go look at this apartment. The lady was like, "It could be yours if you get the money order." So I was like, "Great." I go to a gas station off of Moore Park and Vineland. It's not there anymore. It's a new 7-Eleven. I go into the gas station, get the key, go into the bathroom to change into something decent because I'm about to go get the money order and go back to the apartment. And I wanted to look like I wasn't homeless. Change my pants, change my shirt, go to the check cashing place. No money in my pocket. I guess when I took off my pants, which had the money
In it.
because I didn't have a bank account. I didn't have credit card, no bank accounts, no nothing. So I just literally had 5,500 solid hundreds in my pocket. Must have fell out near the
Somebody
toilet.
went to that toilet and got very rich, unfortunately, and then you
And
had
I
no
don't
money.
understand how I didn't even catch it, like how I didn't even see it.
Maybe it wasn't meant for you and somebody else took it. I have to believe that needed it more. I can't imagine, but we'll
Right.
just go with
It
that.
just set me back. So
So
I
hard.
literally cried for a
Because you were
month
about to
straight.
pull yourself out from being
Out.
homeless.
Yes.
And But the thing is, the story, I think, tells such a great story because here you are homeless and you didn't give up on your dream. And you meet this random guy in a bus who's like, "Are you on TV?" "Yes, I'm on TV. Of course
Mm-hmm.
I am. Can't you
Yeah.
tell?"
Yeah.
And he gives you the card, and the next thing you know, you're on TV. You're doing shows, and all of a sudden you're making money. So like, from rags to riches,
Yeah.
pretty. So I think, it tells me a story of the strength that you had and the resilience that you had, and you weren't meant for the streets.
Yeah.
And I think you knew that all along, right?
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't have just stayed in the streets. You had a bed you could have went to at home. Your
Right.
mother would have given it, like, this wasn't a story like you were kicked out, no family
Right.
with a flashlight. This
Yeah.
was like you were going to make it, and you did. And
Yeah.
so you continue doing TV. You don't get that house then. So how long did it take you to get from that apartment, like not being able to get that apartment because the money was gone? How long did it take you to really start to?
So I was still doing extra work, still homeless. And then one day I took class. I had just got a cell phone. So I now had a cell phone, and I was I took class, Shane Sparks' class. And then a couple of hours after that class, Shane called me and he said, "Hey, do you want to go on tour?" And instantly I was like, yup, don't care who it's for. I just want to dance and be on the road, and this is what I came to do. So he said, I have an artist by the name of Angel Faith. She's like a Disney pop artist. And he said, I'm going to call you back, and I'm going to basically tell them about you, and then I'll let you know what he says. So my phone rings back instantly, and he's like, okay, I need you to pack whatever you had.
Whatever you have.
'Cause I didn't have much. I need you to pack your things, and we're gonna have a car come pick you up tonight.
From the park?
Yeah, exactly.
Come pick you up from the park?
Yeah, we're gonna have a car come pick you up, and you will fly to Atlanta. And as soon as you land in Atlanta, you will go straight into choreography, and you will learn the whole. I think it was a 45-minute show. Probably, I think an hour show. And so I was like, okay, cool, great, blah, blah, blah. So fly to Atlanta, go right into rehearsals. I remember we were rehearsing in the parking lot.
Wow.
Yeah, because I got to the hotel, and we held the rehearsal, and they were teaching me out in the parking lot. And the very next morning, we had the show.
So you stayed up all night learning this choreography for this hour show.
For this hour show. For
that
the
you
next...
desperately needed because this was,
Yes.
it was your chance.
Yeah.
So how'd you do?
I bombed, only because it was so fast. Like, I had to learn the show, and our concerts were school concerts, which meant we had to get up at 6 a.m. and be at the school by like 8 to perform by 9. So it seemed like, and I landed in Atlanta, I believe, like 9:30-ish p.m. So I only had a few hours to go over the show, and then had to be up the next day in costume on stage.
Wow. So when you bombed, did you get in trouble for bombing, or did you?
I didn't. I think they all understood. I mean, it's not like I was bad. I was handling
Well, your worst
I was
could be
handling my own.
somebody's dream, like, right? So
Yeah, I was handling my own, and they could see that it was just because
you just learned it.
I just learned it, and once I got the hang of it, so I think by the third show, it was easy breezy.
So I'm gonna switch gears for a second because we see how resilient and star quality you have to pull yourself up and out and go full out. You work now currently for a while on Hollywood Connection.
Yes,
Right?
which I love.
Which, yeah, I mean, I've seen you there for sure, and you've definitely become a staple at Hollywood. So tell me a little bit about that. Like when you are choreographing for them, I remember when we spoke about it a very long time ago, you once told me that the owner of Hollywood Connection said that he loved you so much because you showed up. And when he
Yeah.
said showed up, he loved like the crazy hairstyles that you
Yeah.
had. He wanted people representing his convention,
Yeah.
and that they knew like they were something special, they stood out. So tell me a little bit about Hollywood, what it's meant for you, how you got it, how the weekends work, because it is a convention.
It's convention, yeah. Which so it was a long time ago. Bill had contacted me. He was doing a workshop. I believe it was in, I think it was Long Beach. It was and it was like a summer thing, and he told me to come, teach a class, so I did, and the kids went crazy. Now Bill found me off of YouTube.
Social media again?
Yeah, so he found me off of YouTube, and that's when he invited me to come teach at that summer thing he was doing. I only taught I had one class, and then I think a couple of months go by, and Bill had reached out to me and said, "I want you to teach at our nationals in Burbank." And at the time, I had a manager, so she was handling all the contact information. And I remember my manager, she had gave me the wrong time.
What?
Yes, so I had missed my class and I was freaking out because I was like, this
Like
is my one
chance.
this is my one chance to get on a competition tour,
Which is what a lot of dancers
and a lot of
dream
choreographers want to
Yeah.
do, because it gets you out there, it gets your name known. But Bill and Kimberly, who was also the co-owner, they switched around the class, literally switched around the classes to make it work for me to come in. So they were like, "Oh, he was supposed to taught an hour ago. Where is he?" So I literally jumped in my car and went to go teach. And that was the day I taught Beyonce "Run the World," my choreography combo to that.
Best ever. Joelle did it too.
Yes.
Best
Yes.
ever.
Yep. The kids went. It was I taught the producers.
So cool.
They went.
And when he says producers, every convention has different levels.
Yes.
And whether they're competing for, it has to do with age, it has to do with advancement.
Yeah, these are the older kids.
These were the older kids, the producers, and it was an unbelievable combo.
Yeah,
like, really good.
The kids went crazy, and I think I don't want to speak for Bill, but I think when they got so much great feedback, like, who is this guy? Like, where did he come from? My girls loved him. Our studio loved him. And then Bill offered me
full-time job. So when you're in this convention room, again, with these little kids, like some of them are teenagers, some of them are graduating seniors, but then you have a lot of the minis too.
Yeah.
You treat everybody pretty much the same. I've seen you in action, and that's never changed. And that's what I was talking about earlier. How do you're in this convention room, you're teaching your combo, and everybody should know when he's teaching a combo, they're learning this dance. It's only an hour class.
Yeah.
It's maybe 15
or
minutes.
45 minutes.
Right. Sometimes 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And so they're learning a combo probably in like 20, 30 minutes. And then they put them in groups, and then these kids go out and perform.
We go full out.
Full out. They've learned the choreography.
Yeah.
And this comes from training.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you choose like your power group? Like, what is it about a dancer that's in this group that you call out that really catches your eye? Like, because I know that there are a lot of people out there that go to these conventions and all they want to do is get called out. It's like their dream.
It's a dream.
I don't even want to be out the side the door if she didn't get called out. Like, I remember those moments, like, God help us, she better gotten called out. Otherwise, I don't want to go home with her, because, she was a kid that got called out.
Those kids are ruthless if they don't get called out.
Like, stand in the front. Me, choose me. But there are a lot of kids that don't get called out. So what is it from your eye, or being a choreographer, that you look for? And maybe it isn't always the best kid, right? Like, what is it that you choose to have these kids come out?
I always choose the it factor, that kid that just knows who they are, that knows facials, that knows how to work their hair, that gives attitude. I always gravitate to those kids because that's who I am as an entertainer. I want to give it all. But I've recently been seeing myself choose a lot of the kids that don't have that. And when they go out, something clicks. So I've had a lot of parents come to me after like this whole season say, my daughter doesn't do hip hop, or my son doesn't do hip hop. After your class, something clicked. And I've never seen my kids dance the way they've danced when they get into your presence.
Same with Joelle, because not for anything, she was like a little skinny white girl who was doing ballet and like some jazz funk here or there, like, not anything. And then you walked into that studio and she takes your class, and I'm like, who is she? Like, I was blown away. Like, you brought it out
There's
of them, right?
There's something I pull out of them.
You do, and it's a gift, and I was so grateful that we got to have your gift and mentorship while she was coming up, because you brought it. I would have never known. I knew nothing about dance, so that's what makes me laugh about this whole thing, because I've learned so much, and that's why I'm doing this, right? If I only knew then what I know now. And you had that gift to pull this out of kids. So I'm glad to hear that you're taking
Yeah.
kids that, it is true. Once you put them on stage, all of a sudden you see a different side of
Yeah, yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of kids
I
sometimes.
I always use Joel, Popo, Ryan Popo,
Bobo, Squad. Oh, he's
Squad, and
insane.
Elena.
Yeah, Elena Garver, best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always use those kids. Uh, for me, they were the skeleton. And so I always look for kids that resemble the way because those three were fire.
With you, they were
With
fire. Like, I mean, literally, I looked back at videos like
Remember the
when prepping for
videos
this.
and then those kids come on?
Crazy. And
Yes.
then I remember we got called because you tagged in then Lele Pons and all those people called
Uh-huh.
them to go do
Yup.
videos with
Yup.
them. Again, social media.
Social media.
And they loved your choreography as well. So I mean, those were really great times. I mean, for sure, one straight down the line.
Yeah.
So let's talk about choreography and studio dance right now, right? So a lot of times you get called to put pieces together for
Mhm.
competition, whether
Yeah.
it's, regionals, nationals, and you set pieces. And I think that this is a question that lots of parents have, and that
Mhm.
is when the studio hires you to come in and set these pieces, do you have full autonomy to choose who is in front and center in your pieces, how that piece looks? Or have you been in situations where they tell you, like, hey, we want this person featured? And I ask because there are a lot of parents that sit on my side of the house, like, we pay good money for
Uh-huh.
this choreography.
Yeah.
And
And
our
my daughter's in
kid
the back.
in the back. But yet she might have been the best one, but this person's favored by the owners because this mom spends more money on privates or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Not in every studio, so I want
Yeah.
to preface by saying that, but you see it a lot. So you're a choreographer. Do you tell them, no, this is my piece, I'm going to do what I want? How do you play that game? Because you obviously are getting paid by them. What does that look like?
So I thankfully have not had any studio owners pressure me to pick a certain person. I like to go into the studio and I already have my choreography set, the music's mixed. I already know what it should look like. I already have the costumes in my head. Now I do say who's your heavy hitters. So that's what I always say. Who's your heavy hitters? And then the teacher or the studio owner will say, she's good, she's good, she's good, she's good. Or he's good, whatever. But I've never experienced you have to put this girl in the front. She's the best. She needs to be in the front. I've
So
never.
I love that because some choreographers do, and obviously you're
Yeah.
not one of them, which is great.
Yeah.
Define to me what the perfect relationship is between a choreographer and a studio owner.
I just think it's an understanding. Like I've literally became friends with a lot of studio owners that I go set pieces to. When I get there, they take me to lunch, they're taking me to the bars. I mean, like really treating me so sweet. And I think it's because you have to have I don't come in like a diva.
No, you don't.
I don't come
You look
in.
like a diva, though.
I look like a diva,
Look like a
but
diva.
I'm definitely not a diva. I mean, you can take me to McDonald's and I would be happy. I'm not asking for the Ritz-Carlton or I have to stay in the best of the best. I'm literally there to fly in and do my job. Put me in a great hotel, great, amazing. Take me to dinner, amazing. But I think it's an understanding of like respect. Like I'm coming to do a job. And also, I feel like the studio owners, when you hire a teacher, need to let the choreographer do their job. As
Which,
far as
amen to that. I completely concur. It's like you're bringing this choreographer in. Let them like. I don't think just being on the other side of it that a studio owner should say, okay, well, the choreographer put you there, but we want this person forward. It's like, why? Like
yeah,
the choreographer came in.
or sitting there, or I think it's bad. I haven't had any experiences. I feel like all the studios that hired me to come do choreography, they say this is the dancers. You do you, because we hired you to do you. We didn't hire you to now for us to be like, oh, I don't like this music. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like that. They literally put me in the studio, introduce me, and they walk away. And I feel like that's when,
That's respect.
yeah, I feel like that's when I can be my greatest. Now, if there's a studio owner sitting there micromanaging oh, I don't like that I don't like that move, or we do that move in our other. I feel like that's when the relationship can get
Sour quickly.
very sour quickly.
I mean, I've seen it where choreographers have come in, set these incredible pieces, and then the person who's cleaning the dance basically changes the choreography.
Yeah.
And that's not cool because I look at it that when, people are tagging social media, dance by Brooklyn J,
Yeah.
but now the dance has been changed because
Yeah.
the studio owner was cleaning it and changed it. It's really not Brooklyn J choreography anymore if they've actually gone ahead and
Right.
changed that. That's
Well,
ridiculous.
it's so funny. I always give permission to change if it's not looking the way it should look. Like, because we only get 2 days. When I go set a piece, I get there probably the day before or the day of, set the piece, and then the next day I go in, finish it, and we clean it, and I leave. And so I always tell whoever's going to be cleaning it or the studio owners, you bought this piece. You can do whatever you want to do with this piece. If it's not aligning, like if the dancers are not killing in this section, you can always change the position. You can always do.
Oh, okay.
So I do give permission for
A
that.
lot of people don't. So
A lot of people don't.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
So that's
But
interesting.
I do because,
Have you ever found it that it's compromised like your choreography?
I've actually been, because they come, the studios that I do that for, they come to Hollywood Connections, and I sometimes go down and watch the piece. Yeah. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I didn't think of that, but that was cool, like, oh, that's dope. Or, oh, I didn't even think of that position. That was good, amazing
Good.
job. Yeah.
Good.
So I've never had an issue where I was like, girl,
like, what'd you do to my piece?
What'd you do to my piece? Yeah.
Okay, well then that's good. So
I feel like I'm blessed all around with all of that.
That's
Because I
phenomenal.
hate studio drama.
A studio drama, that's a thing? That's actually a thing? Studio drama, really?
Like it. I like coming in and being the star and then walking away with everybody being happy and smiling.
Which is what they usually are after you set a piece. I mean,
I don't like getting too deep into it.
And there's, studio drama. We're not going to go there. We're going to actually move forward and say, dance is hard on the body. Dance, you're going full out. And like most normal people do not go full out like that. So when you're using every single piece of your body, I mean, I've seen you do things contortionists don't do. And you're doing that on such a level over and over and over again.
And fast.
I mean, cardio has to be up. Like, body parts, I mean, it's gotta hurt. And I just know, like, the older that I get, sometimes, just jumping out of bed doesn't even feel the same way every single day. So, if you're going like full out like that, and then all of a sudden you are, how do you keep your body from lack of injury? And, how do you protect it? Because I think that, people I know, like, Joelle's taking her BFA in college now.
Yeah.
And they focus a lot on how to protect the body. Like, how to be able to have dance longevity, because a lot of people don't continue to dance because their body gives out.
Their bodies gives out, yeah.
Their body gives out.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
get hurt. It's the injury's not worth it.
Yeah.
The operations, like, dance is hard on the body. So how do you continue to keep going at this level? And
luckily, I haven't broken anything, but I feel like I'm an alien because the way we jerk our necks back on a certain move, or the way we're just twisting and turning. Yes, I'm so sore the next morning, but I'll do it again.
Pop to Advil, end of story.
Yeah, end of story. I mean, I just feel like this is what I chose, so I have no room to complain. And I know what it is. Like, my back, yes, sometimes hurt. My neck hurts. Like, all the dancers know, if you're taking a Brooklyn J class, you need a neck brace and a back brace, because we're twerking the lower half and jerking the neck so hard. So I'm shocked I'm not in a wheelchair. But when stuff starts to really hurt, as far as like your knees or disc in your back now is coming out of place, I feel like you have to be a smart dancer and just chill for a second. Like, when we're on tour, on competitions, and the dancers come up to me and they're like, my knee just popped, but I'm going to do the best I can in your class. No, girl, sit down. Like, so when they say that, I say, no. your knee just popped and you're trying to go hard and we're literally jumping in the air and slapping our knee.
Slapping on knees.
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
totally.
You have to be a smart dancer and say, I think I'm going to sit this one out, because that's what gives you longevity in a career. If you're just dancing on broken knees and broken disc, it just gets worse.
Yeah, it's not like it's going to get any better.
It won't get better. Yeah.
And when you're doing all this booty popping and grinding, and there's little girls, little girls. Like, I remember the first time my husband saw my little girl, like,
booty
popping and like grinding, and he's looking at me. I'm like, don't judge.
So my class, just so everybody's clear, my class at Millennium wasn't a kids class. It was an adult class. So parents had to go to, Jen was she was running it, and she would turn the kids away, until one day I was just like, a parent came up to me and she was like, we came here from San Jose. We really want my daughter really wants to take your class. We love you. But they're turning us away. And so I was like, why are they turning you away? And there's like, it's an adult class. So that's how all the kids started to come.
Oh yeah, we came.
Yeah, because I said, if the parents understand that it's an adult class and I'm not going to water it down, come. I'm teaching these kids to be professional performers and entertainers. And so if we're doing something in the class that's not appropriate for a child, I always told them in my class, switch it up. So if you watch some of my videos and we're, for example, on the floor twerking, whatever, the kids will do something with their arms
or like some kind of trick.
I remember
Joelle, same thing.
Yeah.
Which is funny because she was actually in JoJo Gomez's class like a year ago. She wasn't 18 yet. She was turning 18. And JoJo Gomez had her come out with some guy who was like grinding her. And Joelle was like, but Joelle, she's not going to stop. Cameras on. They're filming full out. And so then afterwards, JoJo Gomez is like, wow, that was amazing. How old are you? You're like incredible. And she's like 17. No, she's like 17. And JoJo Gomez almost had a heart attack. She's like,
God, yeah.
You should have told me. I didn't know, because it was like this whole next level.
Joelle is so professional.
Like she wasn't gonna stop it.
And
like,
she looks professional.
She will never say no to the camera or say no to a dance.
She's an entertainer.
She loves it. But I do know when Joelle was doing all that booty popping in your class, like it was great though, because all my husband did was like give me that look once, and I'm like, I don't want to hear it, like, and the rest was history. Like he just kind of went with it. But I'm sure like not every parent would go with it, but I do think it is part of that performance, right? It is learning every facet of the business, because if you are going to continue and you want to do commercial dance specifically, there is a lot of that's there. So to train with it when you're young.
Yeah.
And I love the fact, because I remember those videos and you did say, go do something else.
Correct. Yeah.
And I
still do that to this day in a Hollywood Connection, because Bill, he's very keen on image, like kids need to be kids. And, adults need to be adults. So, but we do have kids that want to turn around and pop it and drop it. And so I always tell the parents, I didn't teach this. Like, you can see that my choreography.
This is their own,
this ain't me. Yeah. So don't meet me in the alley and beat me with the bat, But sometimes the kids, they just want to.
Oh, they go, once the music's, they go and they metamorphosize into somebody else when it's the freestyle.
Yeah.
When it's freestyle, and every year I feel like they're getting better and better and better. This like pure imagination, which is amazing. That's a testament to you. So if you could do it all over again, would it look any different?
As far as what?
Your whole journey.
Would I do it different? No.
Love that.
No, I wouldn't. All those like tough times and good times and hard times and sad times, I feel like it created this entity, which is who I am today. So I don't think I would, like, for example, if I would have went home, I probably wouldn't be here in front of you doing this podcast. I would have probably gave up, or just kind of said, "Bung it." let's just do something
It would
else
have
or
looked
go.
completely
It would have
different,
been completely
and
different.
I think it made you who you are. And I always say that, like, I don't really think that there would be things that I would have done so differently either, because it's a
Yeah.
part of who you are
Yeah.
to get you to this specific place and
Correct.
what's going to get you to that next place, whatever that next part of your journey is. What's one piece of advice that you would give to dancers that are out there today, whether they're young and coming up, whether they're, about to graduate? Like, what is that piece of advice you would give them?
I think the piece of advice I would give them is to, it's hard to say know who you are, but I feel like as a dancer you need to know who you are. I feel like a lot of us, including me, I hid a lot. I hid everything. I hid um my feminine being feminine. I hid being like the true person I am. And I feel like once I broke all those barriers of I didn't care what anybody thought of me, I actually liked feeling fierce. I actually gained power from like being who I was. I started kicking down all these doors. And I feel like kids today, they're afraid. Some are afraid to just be who they are and step out and be seen. We're not blessed to have parents who, like, for you rah rah for Joelle all day, and I've always remembered you being by her side, cheering her on and all that stuff. My mom the same way. Like,
Yeah, your
get out there,
mom.
get out there, baby, you can do it. At every show, that's my baby, that's my baby.
I
You
saw her at
know?
Hollywood
Yeah.
Connection one time, and you were teaching class, and I remember Joelle was on the stage with you, and
Mm-hmm.
you're a grown man, and
Yeah,
she's
she's
sitting there,
still
and she's like, "That's my
that's my
baby," and I'm
baby.
like, "Oh my God, I love her so much. She
So
was so awesome."
so I feel like that's the starter. If you have your parents' support across the board and they love you for who you are, I feel like the rest of the world can just kiss your ass, because you don't need anybody else's support if you got your parents' support. I feel like my mom loved me so much, it made me believe I can take on the world, literally in my head.
And you have. I mean, you absolutely have taken
Because
on the
now I
world.
look like this. I mean, there's days
Well,
where I
that you only
look
look like
like
this.
Brooklyn, where I'm just like, no wig, no, you know what I mean? There's days where I do just look plain Jane.
You never look plain Jane. I want to be really clear
Oh,
about
you
that.
should have saw me this morning
No,
at 8
there's nothing
a.m.
plain Jane about you. To you, it might be.
Did I look crazy this morning?
You might look, you're plain Jane, but to the rest of the world, there's nothing plain Jane about you. Um, what's next for Brooklyn J?
I'm working on an album, which I'm trying to finish. It's like doing a podcast. It's getting it set up and getting it started. It's so hard, but I have 14 songs that need to be
Amazing.
mixed and mastered. So I'm finishing up the album. Just got asked to go on tour in China.
Are you
Um,
going to do it?
I'm thinking the money needs to be right because I still have to take care of my life in LA.
Right.
So that we just let go our food truck. We had a food truck
I know.
that was called King Me Tacos. So we're thinking about bringing that back, upgrading to a bigger truck, better workers this time, because we
You
were
were
in.
serving it. You
Yes,
were cooking it.
I literally had people walk up and they'll be like, "That's Brooklyn." And then the people be like, "That's not Brooklyn." No, that's Brooklyn. That can't be Brooklyn. Brooklyn's a choreographer. He's not a
Which
taco
let's
person.
be really clear, it's not a bad thing to be a food truck
No,
chef.
no,
Right?
we were making money.
Making money and making good food, and there's nothing
They
wrong
couldn't
with that
believe it
whatsoever.
that I
But
was
it was
back there
like,
flipping tacos.
right, because you're a man, woman of many faces. Like, I just wanted to put that out there. There's many dimensions to you, and if food truck is one of them.
Yeah.
Nothing shocks me as it pertains to what you do. So, how could people get in touch with you? How could people, continue to take your classes? And, you know, what's your dream for the next thing? Like, whether you go on tour, whether you put your album out, like, what if you saw yourself as this great woman entertainer, where do you see yourself next?
I see myself being an advocate for the kids that was just like me, like, you know, hiding themselves. So my music, it speaks to that. It's fun, it's gay, it's just happy, it's love, it's twerking, it's full out. So I see myself in the next couple of years being on tour, traveling the world, making people smile like I normally do, making people happy, and just going full out.
Well, that makes me so happy, and I know that that's where you will be, and that's what you will
Please,
continue to
God.
do. No, you will continue to do it. I have no living doubt in the world. Thank you so much for being part of this
Thank you
journey
for
with
having
me.
me.
It's been a journey, just watching your videos and watching you come alive and watching the many different dimensions of you. And your story is so powerful. It made me a little bit teary as I was hearing it, and um, I just think that it really makes you who you are because you are one of the greats. I told that to my husband before I was leaving today to come meet with you. And I said, this guy, he shows up. And I think as long as you continue to show up and be humble and go full out, it's like the world is your oyster. So I am really feeling very blessed that I have gotten to know you for this long and will continue to watch
I
you. And
love
if
you.
I love you so much. And if anybody has the opportunity to go and take his class, whether it's through Hollywood Connection, whether it's through Millennium, take the class because you will not be disappointed. I miss watching the classes so
Oh,
much because,
I miss seeing you guys
yeah,
there. Like,
it was like those were the best
it was the
of
best
times.
times.
It truly
Yeah, it
was.
was the
So,
best time. And I feel like it's not like that anymore.
well, it's not yet, but it doesn't mean that it won't be because
Right.
I don't think the story's far from over. And
Correct.
I believe people's paths cross. Like, look, our paths are crossing right now doing this. So,
And can I say I'm so proud of you?
oh, thank
Like,
you.
for you to just literally say and do it is it's amazing.
Thank you so
I see
much.
this going really far.
I hope so. I mean, I really, like I said, doing it to create an environment which I didn't know anything when I started this journey
I
at all,
know.
less than nothing. I thought like, okay, she's going to wear a tutu, bow, like whatever.
Right.
And I learned so much along the way. I met
Yeah.
great people. I met
Mhm.
maybe not such great people. I dealt with
Mhm.
dance mom, drama mama.
Oh.
But I do think that if there had been something like this when I was, coming up, I would have really listened to it because knowledge is power, right?
Right. Yeah.
And, having people like you come on and share their story or, even other dance moms and sharing their story and red flags and what to look for and what not to look
Mhm.
for. That's the gold
Yeah.
because the knowledge is power.
Right.
So I love it. And if I could change somebody else the same way you've changed so many lives, like that's me giving back to to an industry that was so good to myself, my daughter, my
Mhm.
family, and gave me so much joy. I mean, there was a lot of heartache too, but you need those heartaches to learn from and grow from.
Right.
So, thank you for saying that and thank you for being part of it. I literally called him up and there was no okay, what do you need? I'm done. And that's what I love
Because you
so
guys
much
are
about you.
family. Like, I feel like we're family.
You're a family to me
Yeah.
too. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you
And
for
I can't
having
wait to
me.
see what's next for Brooklyn J.
Stay tuned. Full out.
Yay.
Don't let anybody treat you like regular glue because you're glitter glue. You sparkle, you shine. Get it, girl, get it, friend.